Where does creation stem from? Where does it come from? Or whatever kind of artist you are, there is something spiritual about creating. Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. It's been a little minute, and then you see I've been posting a lot more often with my shorts, but we're gonna get back into the long form videos right now because I have a conversation that I want to have with you guys. So with that being said, come in, have a seat, take off your shoes, come get some tea, some snacks, whatever you need to feel relaxed, because right now we're getting cozy. I got my warm blanket. I'm sitting in a rocking chair. I feel good right now, okay? Please don't forget to like this, share this, subscribe, and leave down in the comments what you think by the end of this, because I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear from you. I really would. I really would. Just a very quick update. Go check out my Sounds Like Us trailer. I have something really special coming to this channel. It's a subset of my channel where I bridge the gap between music and spirituality, creation and spirituality. I think that is the essence not only of this channel, of just who I am as a person. I will do a separate video on that, but overall, just go check out the trailer because it's really nice. I put a lot of work into it. Let's just kind of just get right into this video. And as you can see in the title, what this video is about, today I wanted to talk about the curiousness of creation. Where does creation stem from? Where does it come from? I think a lot of us, whether you're a songwriter, whether you're a singer, whether you're a painter, whatever kind of artist you are, there is something spiritual about creating. Overall, I think that creation in general just stems from a higher source, a higher power, whether you are religious or not. I think if you believe in something greater than yourself, you know that the things that we create, not only are the source comes from somewhere, but it also gives life in that way, right? I just have curiosity around that, and just getting ideas or getting other people's opinions and perspectives on when it comes down to how you create and where that comes from, kind of seeing kind of those methods, right? Because I think overall getting the methods or getting some kind of practicality to these very ethereal kind of topics does help us as creators to make our art, to make our music. So I saw this interview with Rubin, and I'm gonna add clips in here about him talking about the creative process.
Yeah, there's no right or wrong way, and just have to find your way, and whatever works for you. Yeah, I've worked with artists who do it completely different ways. You'll see like Eminem he's always writing in a book, always writing all the time, and he's always got notebooks writing. And I asked him, it's like, are these all rhymes to use? He's like, no. It's like 99% of what I write I'll never use, just to stay engaged in the process of writing and finding new ways to write, so that it just when I need it just comes.
When he's sitting down with artists such as Jay-Z, when he is writing for artists for like the Red Hot Chili Peppers, it comes down to the source of creation. Where is this creation? Where is the art coming from? We think that often that creation is ours alone, but a lot of it comes from collaboration, not only with other people, but with source, with God, or whatever source you get your creation from, even if that's internal. He describes it in a way of tapping into something larger, bigger than yourself. And I think overall, as artists, we do have a fundamental idea of creating something bigger than ourselves, something long lasting, something that will inspire others and give others inspiration to then create themselves. So I wanted to use this video to explore the source and the process of creation. When you are creating something, what exactly is your method of creation? I want to also use this video to inspire you to kind of tap into your source so that you can always freely tap into this so that you can create whenever you need to. So I have this idea that whatever we're getting our creations from, it often feels like it comes through us, right? Rather than just from us. So in that example of Rick Rubin in that interview, he talks about when Jay-Z heard the beat for 99 Problems, which the song we know today. Jay-Z told him to put the song on repeat, and he just kind of went in the back and was humming words.
Like when we were recording 99 Problems, I played the beat for him. He likes the beat, and then he says, okay, just keep playing it. And then he sits in the back of the control room on the couch, and you just hear him humming like, And
I noticed that I actually do this myself when I'm writing. When I'm writing a song and I hear a beat first, or even just like a melody, a lot of my source of the music does feel like it's coming through me in a way like similar to Jay-Z. When I have the instrumental on loop, I kind of let the words or the melody come to me, and then I fill it in later, almost like how Rick Rubin puts it, as a puzzle piece. So putting that puzzle piece together is kind of the way that I not only view life, but how I create my art, how I create my music. So it's almost like a touch of inspiration and intuition. Even how sometimes it appears when we're not forcing the inspiration, when we're not forcing it to be created. So a lot of us as artists, when we are in our mode of creation, we can get that spark, that inspiration, that intuitive feeling by doing even the minute things in life. You could be washing the dishes, you could be taking a shower, you could be taking a walk. There are even times where I am genuinely having conversations with someone and I instantly get a spark of inspiration, whether either based on that conversation, there's a cadence that they had in their voice that somehow summoned a melody in my head, and then I created a tune, a song, or an idea from it. There's even been times, and I am the kind of person where I dream a lot. There's a lot that happens with me in the spiritual realm when it comes to my dreams. There's been plenty of times where I've heard music that I've never heard in real life, and I've listened to songs. I've even wrote songs in my dreams, and I try my best to remember it and write it down, but sometimes you got to be quicker than that. So I just wanted to pose a question for you. Do you feel like creativity is born from us, or do you feel like we're just channels for something bigger? Even if you don't believe in God per se, do you feel like the source of your creation is coming from something larger? Even if that means your large community, your large family, your large groups of people that you surround yourself every day. Constantly we're looking at social media, we're constantly looking at what's being filmed and consumed online, on TV, and I do feel like even in that there's a sense of source of community where people get their source of inspiration and creation from. I wanted to reference Rick Rubin because according to Rick Rubin, creation is not about control. It's about openness and being curious enough to follow whoever wants to come forward, whatever wants to come forward, especially when you're in a collaborative space where you are trying to create something from scratch. What happens? What is the setup that you have in your room, in the studio, in the bathroom, wherever you like to create? What is the setup that you have around you to get the inspiration, to kind of let the things happen naturally? Especially if you're someone that is stuck right now creatively, or you feel a creator's block, or you just feel like the things that you, even if you are creating, the things that you are creating are just not resonating, or it's not coming out the way that you need it or see it to be. And this kind of ties into this idea of, as curiosity being the bridge between the unknown and the finished creation. There are a lot of things, such as, just a shameless plug, it sounds like us, that start off in our heads in one direction and then move into a different direction. But Sounds Like Us was strictly supposed to be a concert-driven idea that then turned into a podcast alongside my idea for a concert or a live show event. So a lot of times we will start in one end and end up somewhere else. Kind of like life, right? I like to think that my creative process is definitely driven by discipline and mystery, while letting the things that are naturally happen. When I listen to a beat, a song on repeat, I let the words kind of naturally roll in. This may look like I hear the song, and the song kind of feels like the song is telling me what to say, and I let myself hum nonsense. And that's exactly what Rubin says. Like, it's like nonsense.
It's not uncommon for singers or rappers to hear something and immediately start like automatic writing, where they'll just start saying nonsense words.
Yeah.
The first thing that comes to mind over the beat, where you can feel a shape of what it can be.
Yeah.
And like we just made 2 new albums with the Chili Peppers. The second one just came. And the way Anthony works is he'll hear the music and he'll sing along, but he'll sing along with an idea of a melody, but he doesn't yet have words, and just sing nonsense words and just sing along, making up nonsense words automatically, real time, and then listens back and says, oh, okay, this phrase in this spot sounds good, and this phrase in this spot sounds good. What else goes with that? And then it's like a puzzle where you fill in the rest. It's like you don't necessarily have an idea of what the song's going to be about, or you might not even know what the song's about until you finish. You might not even know after the song's finished what it's about. You might not know for years what it's about, because it's like a dream. It comes from the subconscious.
It's almost like gibberish until you kind of get out of that consciousness, and you then have to actually put some actual words to it, and that's where the discipline comes in. So I wanted to break it down into stages. I wanted to start with receiving, right? That is the start of receiving the notes, the melodies, the harmonies, whatever it is that you are doing in that creative process. You're receiving and noticing these sparks of inspiration that you have when you're trying to start. And then we're going to go into the next phase of exploring, letting the curiosity kind of guide the direction. Wherever you get that spark of inspiration from, letting that be the driver when it comes to the process is key to then getting to where you need it to go. Even something as simple as knowing that you want to talk about a particular topic, knowing that you want to highlight a topic, whatever emotions are being evoked in that moment, letting also that drive the direction of where you want your art to go. Then we get into the next stage of shaping. So that looks like crafting, that looks like editing, refining that raw idea, and trying to form it in a way where it's still receivable for consumers, where it makes sense. And then we get into the last stage of releasing. Of course, that looks like putting out your songs, showing your art at an exhibit. That looks like selling your art if you want to do that, or even if that looks like sharing it amongst your friends or sharing it online. You want to expose your art to out there, because that might even inspire not only you but other people to then go do their source of art and tap into their resources of creation. I do want to emphasize that everyone's process is different, and there are times where you may go back and forth between stages. This is the common thread of curiosity when we are in our creative mode. When I look into my own life, into my own songwriting and my own creative process, I do notice a lot of times the best things, the things that I love the deepest, are usually when I just let it happen naturally. When I let the words just kind of come onto the page and worry about editing and all those things later, that's when I get songs that I genuinely connect to and I genuinely love and can't wait to release. The best work, in my opinion, comes from the curiosity and letting that guide me instead of trying to force it. And when I notice that I'm trying to force it, first of all, I can feel it in my body. I can feel it when I'm in that mode. But when I'm trying to force it, I let myself take breaks. Even if I've went through that creative process of finding the words, finding the melody that I really like and I want to stick with, I like to take breaks. I give it a couple of hours, even a couple of days. Sometimes I'll give it weeks before I go back to that song and then I come from it with new perspective. Obviously within that time frame, I've had different conversations, I've consumed different videos, I've also have experienced different and new things that can actually add to my creative process with that song. And I ask myself this question a lot: am I actually really creating this, or is it flowing through me? Am I letting it flow through me? I want you to think about your own creative process and what you think. How do you kind of process that so that the next time you create, you can put yourself in the best environment to then be in your creative energy and mode whenever, wherever. I want you to journal this as well. This would be great for you. Getting a creative journal, writing down these prompts and these questions, and answering this self for you so that you can also set yourself up for success when it comes to this. Where do your best ideas come from? Where do you think your best ideas come from? What practices do you have to help you stay curious? Does that look like reading books? Does that look like listening to your favorite artists? Does that look like even looking at different and other forms of art to use that as a way of inspiration, of also a way for structure? And how can you create the space for inspiration physically and mentally and emotionally? After a deep amount of reflection, maybe curiousness of creation is not really about having the answers, not having the perfect words or having everything in a certain amount of time, but learning to stay open to what wants to be created, what wants to be born when you are in this process, and what wants to be born through us. How can we be better channels and vessels for this source of creation? I would love to hear your creative process, your form of art down below in the comment section. I would love to hear down below what it looks like for you when you are in your creative process, or if you want to add anything that I may have missed even in this video, I would love to hear it in the comment section. So again, thank you so much for watching this video. Please like this, share this, and if you aren't subscribed already, please subscribe for more videos, because I have a ton of videos that I'm gonna have shared right here on this channel, including Sounds Like Us, so stay tuned for that. I love you guys, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye.